Joe Biden has decided to release more of the oil reserves to hopefully lower gas prices in the coming months. So I'll take a look with you at this announcement, and then we'll discuss further.
Responsibly increase American oil production without delaying or deferring our transition to clean energy. Let's debunk some myths here. My administration has not stopped or slowed U.S. oil production. Quite the opposite. We're producing 12 million barrels of oil per day. And by the end of this year, we will be producing 1 million barrels a day, more than the day in which I took office. In fact, we're on track for record oil production in 2023. And today, the United States is the largest producer of oil and petroleum products in the world. We export more than we import, and I've heard from oil companies that they're worried that investing in additional oil production today will in case demand goes down in the future, and they're not going to be able to sell their oil products at a competitive price later. Well, we have a solution for that. Today, I'm announcing a plan to refill the Strategic Petroleum Oil Reserve in the years ahead at a profit for taxpayers. The United States government is going to purchase oil to refill the Strategic Petroleum Reserve when prices fall.
So he's going to release more oil to lower prices. But as he highlights there, then to refill the reserve, he is through that making a promise to oil producers that there will be the demand if they up production, because that's their concern. Sometimes from their perspective, you want to keep production relatively low so that you can keep prices up and you'll have the demand necessary. But what he's saying is we're going to spend a boatload of money to refill that at whatever time, and thus you'll have plenty of demand to go around. So please do this now to lower prices, which I think is good. So if companies follow that and you have the reserve oil go into the market, maybe that makes some sort of dent. We'll read a little bit about the specifics in a second, but the amount that's being released isn't really going to do that much. And a lot of people are pretending like this is Biden trying to make a huge shift in the midterms. By the time this all gets out there and makes any difference, the midterm's going to be over. But I do think it's still a good move. And I like how he went through and debunked a lot of the false claims we've heard from the right on this, and how he said we're headed towards a record production. And then here's Biden getting asked about the question that I mentioned: are you doing this just for the midterm?
Mr. President, what is your response?
I don't hear. Can you speak louder?
What is your response to Republicans who say you are only doing this SPR release to help Democrats in the midterms?
Where have they been the last 4 months? That's my response.
Is it politically motivated, sir?
No, it's not.
3 weeks before the midterms?
Look, it makes sense. I've been doing this for how long now? It's not politically motivated at all.
Cool. And even if it was, I don't care. Cool. Help the Democrats in the midterms. If that's what you got to do, lower prices of gas. Awesome. He can't say that, to be clear. He can't say that. I can say that. But then again, this isn't going to make a huge difference. Take a look at this from CNN. President Joe Biden on Tuesday announced the release of emergency oil reserves to combat high energy prices ahead of the busy holiday travel season, but it will be weeks before the barrels hit the market. Key: the Department of Energy will release 50 million barrels of oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, according to the White House, the largest release from the reserve in U.S. history, Biden said. Biden on Tuesday noted that the administration's actions will not solve the problem of high gas prices overnight. Quote, "It will take time, but before long, you will see the price of gas drop where you fill up your tank." The release is aimed at addressing the lack of oil supply around the world, but its actual effect may be limited. In 2019, U.S. petroleum use averaged approximately 20.5 million barrels of oil per day. And in 2020, the U.S. used on average about 18.1 million barrels per day. According to the Department of Energy Information Administration, the EIA reports petroleum usage was lower in 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So a bunch of words to say that it's not going to make that big of a difference. It's still okay. Whatever dent you can make in the high prices that we have is great with me. This is a completely random Biden moment unrelated to this that I just really liked, so I stuck it in here because it wouldn't fill up a whole story, but take a look.
Should there be any restrictions on abortion abortion at all? Any restrictions on abortion at all?
So he gets asked, any restrictions on abortion at all?
Yes, there should be.
What should they be?
And Roe v. Wade. Read it, man. You'll get educated.
No, I'm gonna ask you.
He said, read it, man, get educated. So this I play because I'm so sick of the right wing constantly saying, oh my gosh, the Democrats are so radical. They want you to get abortions 9 months into your pregnancy. And what I've said before is, listen, even if you had zero regulations, that wouldn't be happening. Because think about, please, use your, put yourself in other person's shoe bone, please. Ready? Okay, you are a woman, you're pregnant. You decide after, however many weeks, whenever you find out that you're pregnant, not to get an abortion. You hold it. You go through all of the massive physical toll for 9 months. And then randomly, for some reason, you're like, hey, this baby is about to pop out. I'm out. And you get an abortion. Does that feel like something that would even be logical? Let me do all the hard part without getting the reward that's supposed to be on the other end of that, which is a baby. No. If you're going to get an abortion, of course you're going to make that decision. Now, the only time that very late term abortions happen is because the life of the mother is at risk, or they find out the fetus isn't viable, or a few other reasons. But this image of someone who just randomly decides I don't want an abortion, or I want an abortion, I don't want this baby anymore, is silly. But even, saying we have to draw some sort of line because someone could do it, so what's your stance on that? Most Democrats just say Roe v. Wade. It draws the line at viability. In my mind, that's the most logical line as well. So Biden's saying there, why are you asking me this? Go read Roe v. Wade. That's my stance on it. Viability. And I really like how he did that. He even kind of grabbed on the guy's arm. Go read it. You'll get educated. Really good. But such an annoying talking point that I hear way too often.